Hello viewers, my name is Vincent Munyao. I'm based in Nairobi, a poultry farmer, poultry keeper. Although I do also involve myself in other kinds of farming. I do container farming. I plant tomatoes, cabbages, carrots, potatoes, sweet potatoes. I also do rear ducks and I rear turkeys. Welcome for this program, or a bit of what I'll call farmers awareness or kind of training. So today we shall be looking at good management diseases, and guys, let's kick off with an introduction. So as we all know, it is important for farmers to learn and adapt good management practices that keep their chickens healthy and productive. Our aim, our objective is to keep healthy chickens and they be productive for us to be profitable. That is, we should be running a profitable venture. So training of service farmers is thus an important part, a comprehensive indigenous chicken improvement program. That is for an improvement program. So good management practices and information should also be accompanied by appropriate organizational and cost-effective practices by all value chain stakeholders. Stakeholders from those who are providing us with feeds, from those who are providing us with chicks, to the people we are providing with the chicks, the people we shall be selling our final product, that is meat. So we are looking at what we are having currently. What is the norm? What have we been rearing? Indigenous chicken production. And we are looking in that system. The system we currently having is traditional free range. And I will want our chickens to be free ranged. So the free range chickens are not confined and are provided with shelter, somewhere where they will be protected against wind, against predators, against rain, harsh climate. So, and this is mostly at night. During the day we are there, we can protect them. They can run if it is rainy. They can hide somewhere if it is sunny. And then again, this chicken of ours, they rely on scavenging for feeds, which include kitchen waste, crop byproducts, and a range of cereals. It is our habit that we provide some treats, and for it to be profitable, at least I would want us to stop measuring or being dependent on commercial feeds only. We should be able to supplement with either some sort of waste food, not really that waste that has rotten. Some of these feeds might include pumpkin. They love pumpkin. They will eat watermelon. They will eat papaya. And there's some of the things that you can plant. They will eat insects. You can rear BSF, black soldier fly. It's a good source of protein. I'll also want you also to give them vegetables. They love them. It goes a long way to improve their immune system and as well cost cutting on your venture. So on space, they should be provided with at least 12 meters squared of space to allow adequate feeding and place of play, and to inhibit scratching, run, fly, stretch their wings. Another type of system is the improved semi-free range, and the other one is small-scale confined system. Small-scale confined system meaning that you are keeping a small amount of chicken, a small number of chickens. While we are on it, that is, we are talking about indigenous chickens, I'll want to point out on an improvement of chickens, the ones we call dual purpose chicken breeds. These are chickens that are bred, or they are reared for meat, eggs. They produce more eggs. They weigh more than the indigenous chickens. And by it that they are producing more ends when it comes to the chicken that will lay eggs. The ones that you are seeing the pictures here, we have the rainbow, we have the broiler, and we have the saso. For them, unlike the indigenous chickens, they will not, take my point, they take this note, they will not brood, they will not lay or brood for chicks to hatch. They will not sit on their eggs. They just lay. Although they will not be laying more than the commercial layers we know, like the Isa Browns. A number, the breeders will give you an average production of their eggs, and the one I know is between 180 to 200 or 220 eggs in a year. And that is because that trait of brooding has been removed. It has been taken away from them. So these indigenous chickens, they will lay eggs, they will sit on the egg, they will hatch, and then they will take care of their chicks until they are up to around 2, sometime 1 month, 1.5 months. And that is where this time makes them lay less eggs. So for rainbow, broiler, and saso, and mostly saso is for, it's a prolific dual purpose chicken that lay good amount of eggs. Broiler is from India, rainbow from India. And when it comes to even meat production, they weigh more than the indigenous, the local ones that have been there before these ones were introduced. As I've mentioned about the dual purpose, this is points for those chickens that we currently have. That is the indigenous ones. You see, these hens will start laying when they are aged 24 to 30 weeks old. At any given time, only about half of the hens are productive, and some, that is 8 to 10%, are out of lay. They are not laying eggs. So most birds, for these indigenous chickens, they will produce 2 to 4 clutches per year. Although some birds may produce 5 to 6 clutches. They are about 10 eggs per clutch, with a range of between 5 and 20 eggs. Both sexes, the male and the female, the cock and the hen, will have a body weight of about 1.2 kg at 10 to 12 tweaks. Mostly, and although males are slightly heavier, adult hens will weigh between 1 kilogram and 1.5 kilograms, while roosters for adult ones will lay between 1.3 and 2.5. For the dual purpose, I can guarantee you a hen is from 2 kgs and above, 2.5 to 3 some, depending on the management, depending on what it is being fed. A cock, 3 to 4 to 5 kilograms. Some have even checked and they've weighed up to 5 kilograms. So that is very advantageous for the improved chickens. They have more improvement on them. On the indigenous chickens, again, about 70 to 90% of the eggs will hatch. 70 to 90%, depending again on the management practices. Only 20 to 50% of chicks hatch will reach productive age. Productive age is either you're selling them for meat or you want them to lay eggs. 20 to 50, that is not profitable at all. Yeah, it's like keeping for fun. Approximately 85% of the losses occur in the first 3 weeks. They occur at least at the age of 3 weeks, and this is due to what? They are being taken care of by their mothers. Their mothers have been left to scavenge. They are mostly they are likely to get infected with the diseases, come across predators, and this reduce their numbers. Adult mortality is very variable and depends on specific local conditions and the occurrence of diseases. So if there are more diseases, they are likely to die. And due to their numbers, it's like it's not again that easy to do vaccination for these indigenous chickens. So what are some of the diseases, or what can we term as a disease? A disease can be termed as any change or impairment of normal body function that affects the chickens' ability to survive, ability to grow, ability to produce eggs. When you are selling, the amount of meat that you will get. So an understanding of the cause of a disease and its method of spread or transmission will assist in controlling it. So being knowledgeable of the clinical signs of a disease and the characteristic of lesions found at post-mortem will help in its diagnosis and instituting a preventive measure. This lesion, when you do a post-mortem, you go and find that an intestine has a problem, a liver has a problem, or part of its internal organ has a problem. That is where we are referring as a lesion. So note, preventing diseases is better and generally cheaper than treatment. Preventing disease in indigenous chicken by use of vaccination and improved management is the most cost-effective approach for disease control. Prevention is better than cure, and it is cost-effective. Note that you better prevent rather than rushing to start buying medicine. You are losing reputation that you are handling sick birds. Okay, as we move on to a different point on how we shall learn disease management and control. So then, why should we learn disease management and control? The reason being that disease will kill your flock. They will kill your chickens. Disease will interfere with the normal growth of the chickens. Diseases reduce productivity. They will lay eggs. They will stop laying eggs. When it comes to selling meat, if the chickens are or hens are for meat production, they will lay less kilos. So diseases lead to heavy losses. When your chickens die, when you are buying medicines, reputation, you've lost reputation because you are dealing with sick chickens or a sick flock. Reputation, very important. It affects local and international trade. Local and international trade, you must be aware of maybe in your region that in some regions you are not allowed by the government to import chicken from those countries. Why? They might be having the best breeds, but there is a breakout of disease in that area, so the government will restrict importation or exportation. We don't want these diseases spreading to other areas. Characteristics of healthy birds. How do you know that you are handling healthy birds? These birds will they will be alert and on guard. They'll have bright eyes and comb. They will walk, they'll run, stand and scratch. They are normal. That is their normal way of behavior. They will continuously eat and drink. They will eat properly. They will drink the correct amount of water that they are supposed to. So, how do we do disease management? How do we control diseases? So, profitability in a poultry production business is largely dependent on management practices, which include management of diseases. For you to be profitable, you have to control and manage these diseases. So the primary cause of diseases are microorganisms. Other causes include nutrition deficiency or toxic substances. Toxic substances, mostly from feeds. You buy feed from not so reputable supplier. He supplies with you with feeds that have not been properly, or even you yourself or me have not stored the feeds properly. I give it to my chicken, they'll get sick, and it can lead to a lot of mortality. So poorly fed birds have low immunity, hence highly susceptible to infections. The lower the immunity of a chicken or any other animal that is bit, expect them to get sick. So birds, another point is birds consume 2 times as much water as feed. So if you see a decreased water intake resulting in it will result in a decreased water intake will result in a reduced feed intake. A reduction in the intake of the components is indicative of ill health. Your chicken is not feeding well. It's not doing well. There is a problem. It must be that it is sick. It is recommended that younger birds be attended first before older birds. And in addition, you have a system where you've separated sick birds. After you've attended to young birds, the chicks, you have tended to older birds. The last birds they should attend to or the sick birds. Let them be the last. You don't want attending the sick birds. You come to the chicks, you've infected them with the diseases. You see the point why we should start with the chicks first. They are vulnerable. Continuation of disease management and control. Litter materials, whatever you've laid on the ground must be changed, and poultry equipment should be thoroughly cleaned and disinfected after each group of birds. Each group of birds is, you are no broiler. They have matured, you are selling them, you are getting rid of them. These chickens, they were laying eggs, the layers, even our dual purpose, they have reached a certain age. We are selling them for meat. They have stopped laying off. They are reached a point where they are no longer profitable. So we are getting rid of them. So what is the next point? The next point is that you will be bringing in a new flock of birds. So you are not it is not a continuation that where you left, you are continuing. Make it a habit. It is proper that ensure that you get rid of the litter material that was there before. Disinfect, clean equipment, materials thoroughly, and give time. Especially when it comes to the disinfecting. Disinfect like twice, spray twice or thrice before you bring in a different patch. So to go on, unauthorized personnel or human beings, me or other visitors, should be barred from the poultry houses. Never allow people to come in anyhow into your poultry. Yeah, we are sometimes tempted that we are keeping nice birds. We want to show it to our relatives. show it to our fellow village people, our community, that I'm doing great, I'm having chickens. They are the disease carriers. They are the one who will come and bring diseases to your flock. If you find that a disease is persistent in the flock, then the best way to remove the entire flock from the farm, it is persistent. And persistent is that you found that 50% it is happening now and then, and it is affecting a lot of your birds. Today, this one is sick, you have segregated another one, next day another one, and another one. It is persistent, it is coming on and on and on. Seek clarification, seek assistance from a professional near you, a veterinarian, person who is well conversant with poultry diseases. Visit him, let him come to your premises, let him visit your farm and see what is wrong, and let him advise you on the next course of action. So a well-monitored system should be put in place to detect diseases early enough to bring it under control. You're supposed to bring under control before it get into this persistent situation. And a good way of checking this, whether the chicks are sick or they are good, we have talked about how the good habits or the good characteristics of what a healthy bird should be looking like. And the best time to have to check on these birds is early in the morning, late in the evening. That way you will get to observe a difference in behavior. Another good habit for disease management and control: ensure that feeders and drinkers are regularly cleaned. I'll point out mostly on drinkers. Drinkers, where you are putting water, there is no living organism that doesn't depend on water. So you are leaving this water for a week, it changes color, it gets fungi, those green, it changes colors to green. That one has already been gotten with fungus. So fungus will change the taste of water. With change of water, the chickens will not like. They are like humans. And again, when you are giving chickens water, make sure it is water that you can drink. It should not be cold, it should not be hot, and it should be something that you can drink. It is tasteless. You've not added something that is changing the taste. Chicken will not take that water. So cleaning of feeders and drinkers to avoid such things as change of taste in water by accumulation of fungi in these equipment. As we go on, ensure that if there are dead birds, burn them, dig deep holes and bury them so that animals cannot access the carcass. Which animals can access this carcass? We have all around our places, we have marauding or even predators. You throw it across the fence, a fox, those mongoose, they will come and eat and spread diseases to other farms. They will go to other farms, they will spread. Maybe they might go to where you are expecting to go and they get your next flock. What will you have done? So ensure that proper disposal of dead or carcasses. A qualified vet should be consulted in case of any disease outbreak for proper diagnosis and treatment. If you are not sure about diseases, you are not a professional, get a professional to check for you. So again, we go on another point. An effective program should be followed to enhance the successful control of diseases. A proper vaccination program should be provided by the breeder. Wherever you are taking your chickens, ensure that a breeder, if you're taking them, they are 1 week that they have been vaccinated against Marek. If they are 3 months, maybe they've been given Gumboro, Newcastle, and fall typhoid. Another one is make arrangements with your consultant to come and visit and check that they are of good health. As we move on, we go to check on characteristics of healthy birds again. We are just adding points. We mentioned earlier some, so we will be adding more. So they'll be having bright eyes and comb, alert. We mentioned that, alert and on guard. They'll walk, run, and scratch. That is their natural behavior. Continuously eat and drink. They lay no more eggs, and normally lay eggs as per the kind of breed, and ensure that they are not that small eggs. If they are laying small eggs, so at the start of laying they normally will lay small eggs, but as time goes on they should lay medium-sized eggs. Normally smooth and neat feathers. They'll have their droppings will be compact and soft. They'll breathe properly. Need look on characteristics of sick birds. They'll inhibit tiredness and lifeless, like the one being shown here on the picture. It's not active. Dull eyes and comb. Sit or lie down. They are not active. Eat and drink less. They will eat less. They will drink less. Their poop, their droppings will either be diarrhea or wet droppings with bloods or worms if you are observant. They will lay less eggs. They will stop laying eggs. They'll have ruffled feathers and loose feathers. They'll cough, sometimes sneeze, and their breath will be noisily. Something that is not normal from a healthy perspective. We come to something we call biosecurity. Very important in your farm. So what is biosecurity? Biosecurity is a set of management practices. These are practices which, when followed collectively, reduce the likelihood of introducing or spreading diseases causing organisms onto and between sites. Sites is my farm, somebody else's farm, a hatchery, and other institutions that deal with poultry farming. These are practices, not just one event that you've just put a footpath. That is where we are going to have a disinfectant and a footpath at entrance. A footpath is a place. It might be a basin. It might be a bucket where you dip your foot before you get into a chicken coop. This place you are dipping your legs, you've put water and an effective disinfectant. Mostly one which is I know of that is mostly used is bleach. Another point is keep poultry houses locked. Fasten from inside. While inside you getting into your poultry, ensure that you lock so that other chicken from maybe you are just they might be the bigger chickens, they don't get into the chick house. Ensure to have a sign like this one we are seeing here that is warning visitors to respect your farm. With such a warning, it is telling them like they are down. Do not enter property without prior approval. Vehicles, people, and equipment can can carry weeds, seeds, and pests and diseases. You have informed them, so it's not like somebody is coming and you want to visit my farm. I start telling him, you know what? I don't want you visiting my farm. But with such a signage, and you've clearly explained down there why you are restricting entrance to poultry farm, it is very understandable. You are being polite. That is a polite way of portraying your message. Biosecurity, we continue. When caring for flocks, the resident flock manager or me who is attending to the chickens, I should keep clothes different for attending the chickens and different from the one that I'm using outside the farms. That includes shoes, boots, hats, and gloves. Me or you attending to the flock and other caretakers, you should not visit other poultry flocks and come and tend to your flock. You should ensure that you've washed your hands, you've changed clothes if you are going to visit other farms. If you are from another farm and coming to your farm, ensure to incorporate those practices, washing hands, dipping your foot in footpath after you visited or you are visiting another farm. After caring for the flock, change the clothes completely and wash hands and arms before leaving premises. Please be careful, be mindful of even other farms. Biosecurity again. Dispose of dead birds properly. Properly dispose these birds. We've spoken about that point. Dispose of carcasses and dead because of the marauding cats, marauding dogs, those predators that might come and find that there is free meal provided just in case you did not properly dispose. Burial or incineration, that is burning, complete burning to ashes, so that there is no even bone that is remaining. Proceed. Monitor vehicles entering your premises. They are either coming for somebody has come to buy your poultry, your chickens, your chicks. He probably will come with a car. That car might be delivering feeds. It might be delivering other equipments. This is to determine if they have been scrubbed down and the undercarriage and tire spray disinfected before entering. Just like your feet will carry diseases and microorganisms, so is a vehicle, a bicycle, a motorcycle. Ensure that they too are disinfected, they are sprayed. Ensure you have at the entrance that you have a spray for spraying these vehicles or motor vehicles or bicycles or even a wheelbarrow. We move on. A sick bird or a dying bird should be sent to a state laboratory for diagnosis. Commercial growers should contact their flock supervisor. Get an expert to do a postmortem in case your chicken died of something that you don't understand. This is very helpful. It helps you identify what is wrong. It might be something, an underlying disease. You just dispose it. You've not gotten to know the reason as to why this chick or this chicken died. Thank you. Keep restricted sign. We saw that one. Posted at drive entrances. A polite way. You cannot be repetitively be telling people don't come, don't come. You'll be chasing them away. But when you have a signage, it is polite. Clean, another point. Clean and disinfect all coops, crates, and other poultry containers or equipment before and after use. A recommended practice, especially for equipment, containers, and equipment and drinkers. I have two to give you ample time to clean. You clean today, you are using the other one. The next day you clean, you will be using the previous. And that one will make your work easy. We move to vaccines and vaccination. What are vaccines? Why should we? Vaccines protect chickens from infectious diseases, but they cannot treat diseases. We are not treating diseases. They are diseases that you cannot treat. They can only, or they will be, your chickens will be helped by them having vaccination. Moreover, vaccines are disease specific and protect chicken against a specific disease rather than all diseases. Vaccines work based on healthy, well-managed chicken. We'll talk about that. Vaccine should be stored at temperature range of 4 to 8 degrees Celsius, and they should be protected from heat and direct sunlight. Vaccine should be transported in a cool box. All equipment used for vaccination should be disinfected in boiling water. That is very clear. Why vaccinate? Why should we vaccinate our chickens? This is because many infectious diseases agents are also present in the environment and are difficult to control even with the best biosecurity measures. Very, very important. The diseases, they are in the environment, very difficult to control even with the best biosecurity. So to reduce losses due to morbidity and mortality caused by infectious agents, vaccinate your chickens. Vaccinate your chickens to protect against diseases causing. It will cause eggs production to drop, and this might even cause egg deformities. You will have small eggs with weak shells, and where do you take such eggs? Vaccine specificity. A particular vaccine will protect chicken against a specific disease. A Gumboro vaccine will protect chickens against Gumboro. A Newcastle vaccine will protect chickens against Newcastle disease. Chickens may suffer from other diseases despite successful vaccination. Get that point. Vaccination can never be provided 100% protection. Vaccination will never provide 100% protection. It is, though, part of a complex preventative. We are trying to do what? Prevent. It's a policy of which biosecurity and hygiene are equally essential. Very important. Vaccination rules. What are some guidelines of vaccination? Vaccination should not be administered to sick birds. A moment you find you are at a point where you are vaccinating your birds and you find one bird is sick, please don't vaccinate that bird. Always adhere to the genetic makeup of the chickens. The dual purpose, the indigenous chickens, broilers and the layers, they have different genetic makeup. Weigh costs the benefit of vaccination against potential loss. See, it is upon you. You want to vaccinate, expect losses. And then again note, it is best to vaccinate birds during cool hours of the day, either in the morning or evening. Vaccine should be used within 60 minutes after reconstitution. After reconstitution is you've opened a vaccine you want to use. You cannot try to close it again. You have already exposed it to air. So you have to use it within 60 minutes. Always consult a veterinarian when in doubt before vaccination. If you're not sure about doing vaccination, don't do guesswork in poultry. Consult an expert. when we are doing vaccination, you've done your vaccinations, and then afterwards you start experiencing problems. Problems of what? The vaccine did not work. So what could be cause of vaccine? What can lead to cause of vaccine failure? So maybe the birds you were vaccinating had stress. They had stress why? Due to poor nutrition. Due to poor nutrition, they were sick. They had diseases. The weather was adverse, hot, cold. The vaccine you were using to vaccinate your birds, you did an improper handling, an improper administration of that vaccine. You failed to observe the cold chain when transporting a vaccine for a long distance. You live very far from your farm and where you are taking there, or where you bought the vaccine. You mishandled. You did not put it as, because these vaccines are cool chain. They need to be kept cool. So it should be kept in a cool box and away from direct sunlight. And that's why in an earlier point we said that the best time is in the morning and evening, so that we don't expose this vaccine to sunlight, direct sunlight. Your vaccine might fail because, or vaccination program might fail because wrong dosage. For example, you over diluted the water that you mixed with the vaccine. Last point, we did say never vaccinate a sick bird. Your vaccine failed because you vaccinated a sick bird. That is very dangerous. So to conclude on our program or on our training, in conclusion, it is that from what we've learned, keeping poultry is not easy. My friend, keeping poultry is not easy. Take it as a learning process. Start slowly and expand as you gain experience. You will face setbacks. You will face problems along. Your birds will get sick, they will die. But the point is, persevere and seek advice when you have problems and need help. And a point 2, those who take care of animals. If you are kind to your birds and treat them well, they will respond. This is where it is said, the hand that giveth is the hand that receiveth more. Take that point. And guys, that is the end of this training. I hope you've taken something. I'll just point out that this is my first presentation. I'm just starting out. I've been trying to learn YouTube. I've just learned this from YouTube, so please try to comment on where you can see we shall improve on our presentation. Guys, please don't forget to share, like, comment, tell us on what topic you would like us to talk about. We either shall set a date or come up with a program or a show like this one. We talk about your point, or some points I can answer on the comment section. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe so that you are notified when we upload one of these, or anytime we upload a video. Be blessed. Thank you very much, guys, for your time.